And I accidentally started Armageddon on Book Twitter today.
I have an announcement to make, you guys. I'm a terrible reviewer.
What's up, you guys? My name's Mina. Welcome to my channel, Mina Reads. And today we're starting a new reading vlog. Ow. And this reading vlog is going to be about me fixing my net galley ratio, because my net galley ratio at the moment is 44%, and that shit is not sexy. And the publishers are probably looking at me and laughing every time I put in a request, and I want to be able to get approved for The Burning God by R.F. Kuang, which is the finale to the Poppy War series, and like I need that. I need to get approved for that arc, and so I need to fix my net galley ratio so that I can be approved for that arc. This is going to be the test of, am I a real reviewer if I can get approved for this arc. I'm trying to fix my net galley ratio. You guys should come along while I try and do that. So basically, I'm gonna try and read like 4 books in this vlog, maybe more, we'll see, just to get the ratio looking a little bit better. We want to be over 50% at the very least. So in this particular vlog, I'm going to be reading Serpent, Thorn. I'm going to be reading Mexican Gothic. I'm going to be reading The Damned by Renee Audier. And I'm going to be reading Scandalous Passions by Nicola Davidson. And if we have some time, I'm going to be reading The Roommate by Rosie Danan. And yeah, those are the books I'm going to try to read in this particular vlog. And we're just going to see how it all goes. So yeah, hope you guys are interested in taking this little journey with me. I am like 60% into Serpent, Thorn, and I'm absolutely loving it. The writing in it is so beautiful. It's so like lush, and I am just falling in love with this world building. So basically this is a Persian inspired like young adult fantasy about a young woman named Soraya, and Soraya has been cursed from birth with a poisonous touch. So there is poison in her veins, and anytime she touches someone or something, it dies. And basically she is very fed up with this being her lot in life, and she is like a very touch-starved individual. And so we see Soraya going down this path to try and rid herself of her poisonous touch. She is the sister of the Shah, so she's a part of the royal family, and she's just tired of being, you know, their dirty little secret. And she really was giving me kind of like an Elsa vibe, giving me big let it go energy. And I just really think that Soraya is such an interesting character. Like, she's so well written, and I feel like I love this story because Soraya makes a lot of decisions in it that aren't always the best decisions, but they make so much sense. She's such a sympathetic character, and you can't help but empathize with all of the things that she's doing, even if she's making a decision that you kind of feel like, maybe that's not the right one. And I'm really loving like the world building in this, because Soraya, she has this poisonous touch because she was cursed by something called a Div. And so Divs are kind of like demons in this world, and they are created by the destroyer god. I think that the mythology aspect is really interesting, and from what I've read, this is based on like Zoroastrianism, and I think that that's really fascinating. And I always love learning about like other religions and mythologies from different parts of the world, so I'm really appreciating this story a lot. And also, this is sapphic, and this story is really sold pretty hardcore as being a sapphic fantasy. It's not that the sapphic romance isn't there, that it isn't like cool and all, but it's just not as much of a focal point as I thought it was going to be based on a lot of the marketing surrounding this book. So I'm interested to see how things are going to wrap up, because I'm pretty sure this is a standalone. So like, yeah, I think it'll be really interesting to see how this ends. So it is midnight, but I just finished Serpent, Thorn, and it was so good. I'm giving it like 4 stars, but it was really brilliant. Like, I really do believe that if you like fairy tales, you like retellings and stuff like that, I definitely think that you should try out like this Persian inspired mythology. I think I was just so immediately drawn into this story, and I was obsessed with the characters. I think that our main character Soraya is so interesting, and I felt like following her was great because she was just such like a morally ambiguous character. I always felt like she was right and she was vindicated to be making some of these decisions that she was making, you know? The story is so complex and so nuanced that as you learn more about all of the characters around Soraya, you find that like maybe the decisions she's making aren't the best, but they still make sense. And it makes sense why she's making the decisions she makes. It makes sense why her family makes the decisions they make. And the story had a lot of layers. It was just gorgeously written. I also think that the dynamic between Soraya, our hero, and the villain was so fascinating. If you like stories where you see your hero like teeter on the edge of villainy the whole time, I would definitely recommend this book. I think that it's just like, it really provides such interesting stuff. And also, I don't know if I mentioned before, but this does include a relationship between two women, two monster girlfriends, and we love to see it. It's just a bit iconic, I think. Definitely could have used more scenes than they got. They were robbed a little bit. I can't say that it's like my new favorite book because it didn't give me like new favorite book feelings, but it was really good. And I definitely think that near the end, a little bit of like the stakes of the story kind of dwindled. It didn't feel as high stakes near the end as I would have liked it to feel, especially since like the climax and all that. I would have liked it to feel a bit more high stakes than it ended up being, but overall it was really interesting, and I thought the audiobook was so great. And so since I had the ebook and the audiobook both from NetGalley, I was able to write my reviews for both of those. So now my NetGalley ratio is at 52%, so we love that for me. I don't know why I keep throwing up peace signs. Is that the bisexual agenda? I don't know, but anyway, I am 38 pages into Mexican Gothic. I don't know why I held it up because you can't even see the words on it, but this is Mexican Gothic and I'm 38 pages into it. So this story is about a girl named Noemi, and I think that's how you pronounce it. I looked it up. It kind of sounded like that, so hopefully I'm saying that right. But it's about this girl named Noemi, and basically she is like a rich girl. She's very, you know, privileged, living her best life, going to parties, and basically her family receives a letter from her beloved cousin named Catalina, and Catalina describes like living in a house full of ghosts, and you know, they're terrorizing her, and her letter is very, you know, terrified, very creepy and ominous. So Noemi gets sent by her father to go check on Catalina and make sure everything is okay. So now Noemi has just, at the point that I'm at, she's just arrived at this house called High Place in like the Mexican countryside, where her cousin lives with her husband and her husband's family, and her husband's family is very creepy, very weird, very racist. And yeah, so I'm hoping that we get Catalina out of there soon, because it kind of seems like they're drugging Catalina or something. It's not giving me a whole lot yet, and I'm not like super duper invested in any of it yet. A little bit of a slow start, so I'm hoping that once we get past this hump, it'll be like really amazing and fast-paced and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I just wanted to keep you guys updated, but I didn't really do all that much reading today because I've been watching Legend of Korra, and I am on season 3 now. So like, yeah, almost done. And yeah, I'll go back to reading and then I'll go to sleep. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I have absolutely no idea what to think about this book. Like, it was such a strange experience reading it. Like, for the beginning of the book, I was very disinterested. I did not care. I was not invested at all. I think that to maybe like the 100-page mark, I did not care about anything that was happening in this book. And then like it got a little bit more interesting as time went on. I think that the thing that kept me reading, one, is the fact that I'm doing this video, but also like the language in this book is very good. The prose is really stunning. I think that the author did like an amazing job with like the writing, the descriptions. It really does create a certain creepy, ominous atmosphere and all that kind of stuff. So I was definitely like, I could see her vision. I feel like I look incredibly naked. I'm not naked. Anyway, like I felt like I could see her vision. I could feel like the certain aesthetic and the vibe that she was building, and it was definitely like eerie and creepy, but it wasn't all that enticing, especially because I think that low-key the premise of this is fucking idiotic. Like the fact that like cousin Catalina sends this letter like, I'm in danger, please come help me, and then her family just sends her younger cousin to come visit her. Father sends her to go visit Catalina, and he's just like, yeah, like go visit her and see if she's all right. But the father believes that Catalina is like being abused or something. So why would a father believe, oh, my young niece might be getting taken advantage of or abused by a family that we know nothing about? Let me send my young daughter there. So I was really grappling with like the idiocy of that initial premise for a lot of the beginning. And it's just very creepy, very ominous. And then you get to like some plot twisty stuff. And the plot twist is really crazy. Like batshit insane. I don't even know how you come up with a concept like this. So I was very, very shook when we got to like the plot twist and we learned what the hell was going on in this damn house. Like, it was definitely wild. Definitely wild. But I have to say that this story also has some of its failings. Like I said, I feel like some stuff about the initial premise is weird. I think that the book is too boring for too long. Like, literally 100 pages, I was bored as fuck. And then I think that there's also a romance in here that's like incredibly unnecessary. And it's just like, why are they in love? I'm very conflicted on how I feel about this because, like, wow, it was quite an experience. I appreciated it for that, but like, is it my new favorite book? No. I don't know. I feel like maybe if I were to give this a star rating, it would be like maybe 3 stars. But I'm not certain what star rating I'm going to give it, but like, this was wild. This was just wild. I can't stop thinking about it. So maybe it should be 4 stars. I don't know. But anyway, let's move on to my next read. I don't know what my next read should be. I'm trying to decide if I should read The Damned by Renee Ahdieh or if I should read like a romance next. Yeah, maybe I'll go with a romance. We'll see. Should I read The Roommate or Scandalous Passions? Maybe Scandalous Passions because it's shorter. Also, I forgot to update y'all, but now that I've sent my Mexican Gothic review, my NetGalley score is at 56%. So, we moving on up in the world. I'm like 1 week deep into a depressive episode, can you tell? I am on my 3rd book of this video. I'm reading Scandalous Passions by Nicola Davidson. And this is a historical romance. Why do I have my eyes closed? I don't know. But this is a historical romance and it's set in like medieval Scotland, I think. So it's about this lady named Janet. And so she is the mistress of the king. And she's kind of being kicked out of his castle because he recently got married. So he's like, you know, making his mistresses leave the castle so he doesn't displease his wife. So he's like, you know, I know you have to leave the castle, but I still love you, so I'm going to like allot you this land and a house and like some servants and all that, so you'll still live in comfort. And so she's moving out of the castle into this house, and she's being accompanied by this guy that's like the top soldier in the military, and his name is like the Highland Beast. His name is Lachlan. And then also this other girl who's like the king's ward or whatever, and Lady Janet is going to be her guardian until she is married off for like political reasons or whatever. But this person is like 22, and I think that Janet is like 33, and then this soldier guy is like 30. So anyway, they're all going to be living together, and this is like a polyamorous historical romance situation, and it's also supposed to be like erotic and whatever. I so far am not feeling it personally. It's not doing a lot for me. I don't care about these characters. I don't give a fuck about their relationship. I don't care about any of it so far, and I'm like 33% into it, and it's just like it's not really giving me much. And it's definitely, there's been a few sex scenes and I don't really care, because typically reading about people clapping cheeks is enough to put a smile on my face, but I'm not smiling. So I mean, here we are. So anyway, I just am not like enjoying this, especially like the sex scenes and stuff, because there's all these weird euphemisms used, which, I mean, maybe they're historically accurate, who knows, but it's just weird to me. They're like, you know, my pleasure pearl and all this other shit, and it's like, what the hell? And then there's also this slick folds, like it's giving wet envelope energy. So I'll probably give you guys more updates when I complete this book and I start something else. So I finished Scandalous Passions and I did not like it. I'm gonna give it 2 stars. It was not good to me. It wasn't like horrible, so I wasn't gonna give it 1 star, but it wasn't sexy to me. I didn't like the characters' relationships. I didn't like the plot. It was just a bit whack, just a bit corny, and I just was not a fan. And so yeah, I mean, it's done, it's over, and I read that. Also, I have more updates on my NetGalley score. So I sent in my review and I was like, yeah, my NetGalley score is going to look so good. We're going to finally break 60%. No, we did not. We're only at 57%, which if you remember from before, we were on 56%. So how, you may be asking, how did this happen? And I got approved for 2 new arcs. I got approved for How to Catch a Queen by Alyssa Cole and Spoiler Alert by Olivia Dade. So my ratio is still low. So we didn't make it past the 60% mark. So hate that for me. But I think the next book that I'm going to start is The Roommate. I was supposed to start The Damned right now because I put a poll on Twitter and everyone was like, read The Damned, blah, blah, blah. But I don't want to read that because I started reading it. I did start reading it. I made an attempt. I got to like 10% in it. And I'm going to be honest with you. I did not remember anything from the first book. Like literally, I couldn't remember a single thing from the first book. And this book really like throws you in immediately into the story from where the first book leaves off. So I was so confused. So it just wasn't working. So I think I'm going to try and read The Roommate. And then I don't know, we'll see where the wind takes me. So anyway, I am coming back because I want to talk to you guys about The Roommate because I'm in love with it. Almost low-key. I'm like 60% into it and I'm obsessed with it. So we're going to talk about it some more in 1 second. But I have a package from Book Depository. I have no idea what this is. I don't know if somebody sent me something. I have no idea what this is because I know that I haven't made any Book Depository purchases. So I don't know. We're just going to open it and see what it is. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. Stop. Wait a minute. Okay, so oh my god, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is beautiful. Okay, so this is the UK paperback edition of Kingdom of Copper, which is the sequel to The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. And oh my god, one of my friends sent this to me and I completely forgot that this was like coming and oh my god, look at this. Look at this. Oh, yes. Yes. I'm so happy. What did I want to tell you guys about? The Roommate. So The Roommate, I don't know if I mentioned before, but The Roommate is about this girl named Clara, and Clara has been in love with her best friend Everett for years, and he has never given her the time of day. But this year he said, Clara, you should move out to LA with me. And she's originally from Connecticut. She moves out to LA. She completely uproots her life, ready to risk it all for this man. And she gets there and then he's like, whoops, sorry, actually I'm in a band and we're gonna go on tour, so meet your new Craigslist roommate. And her new Craigslist roommate happens to be none other than Josh Darling, who is a pretty famous porn star. And this is basically about their roommate situation and them liking each other. Let me tell you, this book is so fucking hilarious, like genuinely hilarious. I really love these characters and I really love the conversations that they have. The dialogue in this is genuinely hilarious and the conversations are so good and the characters are just fucking hilarious. Like when Josh discovers that Clara has never had like a real orgasm, he's a legend. A bit iconic, I think. Like, I mean, we appreciate his dedication to his profession, you know what I'm saying? And this book is really interesting because it really does discuss like the porn industry, and it really like values and uplifts sex workers, and it talks about how sex workers deserve to be respected for their work and for their craft and all that. But it also does discuss how the porn industry is very predatory and how it does not value the performers, and how performers are often put in unsafe positions, or maybe they don't own the rights to their own like films and stuff like that. So it really is talking about like some of the failings of the porn industry, but also trying to like put a face towards the performers of the porn industry and making it like, you know, it's not demonizing sex work, which I have such a huge appreciation for. And this book is just good. Like the relationship between Clara and Joshua and Josh is just so good to me. I really love them, particularly Josh. I'm obsessed with him. I think that his character voice is so fucking perfect. Like this is a dual POV, and I feel like the author does an amazing job of giving both of the characters very distinct character voices. The writing in this is just so good, and I'm getting to like the angsty portions because I'm at like 60%.
2 hours later.
So finished The Roommate, and I accidentally started Armageddon on Book Twitter. What did you do today? That other clip was a bit dramatic, so I decided that I wanted to refilm it today. Did complete The Roommate, like I said in the last update, and I did start a little bit of a stir on Twitter, so we're going to talk about both of those things. So first, I finished The Roommate, and while I really enjoyed the book, I am going to give it 4 stars, which is not like a bad rating by any means, but it I didn't love it as much as I thought that I did. I feel like near the end, I'm not sure I was super obsessed with like the resolution of some of the conflicts in the story, and I really wish that we had gotten more scenes of our characters really like hashing out their issues, because there was definitely some issues there. So I think that they could have really had a little bit more like nuanced discussion about some of the stuff that went on than we got. But you know, it was still cute. I still had fun. I still liked it well enough. Also, it just reminded me that I really don't like the whole like rich girl trope with like her, you know, her uptight family and her reputation to care about. I really do not like that trope. I really don't give a fuck about it. Yeah, but anyways, I finished The Roommate and whatever, and I was just thinking about romance in general and like romance plot structure and how how romances are typically set up, and how one of the things about romance that we all like know and love is that they're kind of predictable in a sense, and that predictability makes it kind of comfortable to read. But I always wonder, like, I wish that we could have a little bit more variation in the way that romance plot structure is, especially when it comes to, like, a lot of things that happen in terms of, like, romance conflict. Like, for example, I think that a lot of times in romance we get something called the third act breakup, which is every romance has a black moment where something happens and things go wrong, and then the characters are like not going to be together, and then, you know, their ending of the book is them like finding their way back to each other most of the time, right? So every romance kind of has that black moment, and it needs that moment of like tension in the book, because every story, every plot needs some kind of tension to keep things moving forward in an interesting way, right? So most romances have a black moment, and the black moment typically ends up being like a breakup scene. And I personally think that a lot of breakup scenes are just like, I think a lot of the breakups that we see in romance they're just annoying, and sometimes I feel like you can tell that the author really did not want to write that scene in, or it really doesn't even make sense in terms of the characters. It'll just be like some absurd miscommunication or something like that. So I think that sometimes you can just tell that maybe a conflict here doesn't always fit, and I feel like a lot of times it's not enough time in the resolution for the issues that arise because of this type of conflict. They don't get resolved in a way that is always satisfying. And I just tweeted out, like, you know, I said, you know, romance authors, please consider not including that annoying ass third act breakup, because it's annoying, it's tired. We'd like something different, a little bit of variety.
Again, nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit, same old fucking shit.
Spice it up if you can. And so yeah, I tweeted that. I'll show you the screenshot here. I tweeted that, and then I got like, the response to that was really interesting. A lot of people seem to like, you know, agree, and it seems to be something that a lot of people are kind of tired of, which I do think is interesting, because like I said, you know, romance is really like a very comfortable genre full of super, you know, tried and true tropes and like plot structures and stuff like that. So it was interesting to me to see that so many people kind of agree with me about that, but there were also a lot of people who disagree with me about that, including some authors who wrote like all of these long ass threads about how, you know, don't let these readers, you know, convince you that you shouldn't write your book the way you want to, and they should write their own book, which is bullshit in my opinion, because not every reader is a writer, and readers still have the right to have an opinion about the things that you guys write. And I think that that's just like a strange take in general. But also I just felt like it was a little bit weird, because some people were taking it as if I am like barging into people's house and like forcibly deleting their manuscript because they have a breakup scene in it, which I'm not doing. I don't have teleportation skills. I don't know where the fuck you guys live. I can't delete your books. I'm not a publisher. I'm not an editor. I'm not the arbiter of what happens in the romance community. So I don't know why a lot of people were trying to make it seem like I single-handedly am going to destroy the romance genre by having a random opinion about how some things are just a little bit annoying. And tried and true does not always mean amazing. And I think that there's always room for growth and innovation in romance, and that's one of the reasons that I personally really love independent romance, because I feel like a lot of independently published romances do shirk the traditional plot structures of romance, and they do different things. One of the reasons I really love Katrina Jackson is because she definitely does that. A lot of romances, when there is conflict and everything like that, it really hinges on the fact that these characters are not talking to each other, they're not communicating well or whatever. But like in Katrina Jackson's books, her characters always communicate with each other beautifully, and I absolutely adore that, which is one of the reasons I really love her romances, particularly her polyamorous romances, because we get just wonderful, open, honest, beautiful communication, and I love that, and I appreciate that so much about her. And she is an independent romance author, and that's one of the reasons I love independent romance, because I feel like independent romance authors are taking those little risks and doing things just a little bit differently and shaking things up. So that's why I love and will always support independently published romance authors. But yeah, like it was a strange moment on Twitter, and there were people like, you know, well, if you don't like that, don't read it, which is bullshit, because that's in most romances. Like, you know, the whole third act breakup is in most romance. It's in most romance films. It's in most romance books. It's in romance. Like, that is the structure of almost every romance. So the idea that, oh, if I don't like it, you shouldn't read it, is dumb. Maybe some writers who are willing to take a risk could write some different shit. Like, maybe that could happen. I don't know. Maybe. Perhaps. So anyway, Twitter's an interesting place. I was quote tweeted by Courtney Milan, Queen of Romance. Love her. Read Hold Me. Stand that book. It's amazing. Some of my other faves, like Katrina Jackson, commented about it, and she said that, like, she doesn't enjoy writing romance black moments, which was like, and that's exactly why I love you, sis. And also Rebecca Weatherspoon, she chimed into the conversation talking about how a lot of readers, when there isn't like a black moment in the romance, authors get like kind of eaten up about the book not being like complex enough or whatever. But I mean, you know, I don't speak for every romance reader, but for me personally, I do think that tension in a book and like conflict and like plot stuff doesn't always have to hinge around like a breakup, which is why I think that they could do, like, that's why I'm saying maybe we could do something different occasionally, because I don't think that breakups have to be the only way that you structure or that you plot in something like, you know, tense and uncomfortable in a book, you know, or something that induces like anxiety or angst or whatever. Like, I don't feel like it always has to be a breakup. And that was just my own personal take. And so I think it's interesting. It did cultivate like a kind of interesting discussion in the romance community about romance and what we do there and all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, so that's all I have to say on that. So I think I'm going to try and read one more thing in this vlog, and I'm going to be reading this manga called There Are Things I Can't Tell You. That is a manga about these two people who are like childhood best friends. I think they were friends in like high school, and then they like rekindle their friendship when they're adults, and like they're both pining for one another, I believe, or at least one is pining for the other, and it's going to be about them like getting together. And I heard about this from Jessica Nicole Dickerson. I saw her read it in her first Reading Rush vlog, and so like I was really excited when she talked about it, because she made it sound like it was really cute. And she also said that this is like an erotic manga, which I didn't really know that like that existed, but sounds right up my alley. So gonna read this and see how I feel about it, and then I will probably close out the vlog then, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, this update is too fucking long. I just realized that my makeup was like not blended well like on my forehead at all in that previous clip. Like, how embarrassing. But anyway, moving on. I really don't know if this brown lipstick is working. I stole it from my mom, so I don't know if it's really my shade, but I'm wearing it anyway. So, choices. Anyway, I completed There Are Things I Can't Tell You, and it was basically just like run-of-the-mill childhood friends to lovers, miscommunication. It was angsty, it was whatever. It was like erotic, so there is like graphic sex scenes in it. I don't know why I put quotes on it. It's definitely graphic sex scenes in it. And I mean, it was fine. It's going to be 3 stars for me. It wasn't anything amazing. It wasn't necessarily terrible. I don't think that there was anything super interesting about the story or the characters or anything like that. But, you know, they were just like flawed, messy people in love with each other, making dumb decisions. I don't know. It was alright. I don't really have that many thoughts about it. I didn't dislike it enough to give it anything lower than a 3, but I didn't like it enough to give it more than a 3. So that's where we're at with that. Oh, so I have been buddy reading Leviathan Wakes with Aaron from Booked and Busy and Monty from Monty Price and from It's Monty Price. And yeah, so we have been buddy reading this. This is a reread for me. I am obsessed with The Expanse, which is the series that this book is from. But The Expanse is a television show. It's one of my favorite TV shows of all time, and it stars Stephen Strait, who is my king. I love him. You may also know him as War and Peace from Sky High. King, obsessed with him. I'm also obsessed with his other shitty movie, which is called The Covenant. Male Witches, Stephen Strait, I'm there. Best movie. It's trash, but I love it. So anyway, I'm obsessed with The Expanse, and I want to continue on with the series. So I'm going to be reading the next book next month, but this is the first book in that series. Anyway, I took some pictures with this book today, and I posted them on Twitter. And James S.A. Corey, like their Twitter account, because it is like an author duo, so their Twitter account saw it and retweeted me. So like, love that for me. I'm always winning. So yeah, I've been reading this all week as well. So like, honestly, I'm very proud of myself. In the matter of, how many days has it been? Since I started this video last week, I've read at least 5 books, but maybe more. Because I read Harbor by Rebecca Weatherspoon, and like that book was good. It was 5 stars. we're going to talk about that more in another video. But like, I've been reading so much stuff this week that is crazy. I feel like I'm going to crash next week and I'm not going to read a single thing. But that can't happen because I have reading plans. Fuck. Anyway, lots of reading occurred this week. So, how did we end up doing on our NetGalley score? My NetGalley score right now, as of this moment, is, drum roll please, 59%. I know. Terrible, right? It's not what we hoped. Not what we hoped at all. But my excuse is that I got approved for multiple books over the course of this week. So it basically like completely fucked the whole concept of the vlog. I got approved for Spoiler Alert by Olivia Dade. I got approved for How to Catch a Queen by Alyssa Cole. I got approved for The Burning God, which is low-key the real reason for the video, so maybe we did win. And I also got approved for Crazy Stupid Bromance by Lisa K. Adams, whatever. So I got approved for those 4, and yeah, so that fucked things up. So if I do the math based on like what my ratio would have been if I hadn't got approved for those 4 things, then I'm pretty sure that I would have hit like 68%. But things didn't work out like that. But am I still happy about the arcs that I got approved for? Hell yeah. So, I mean, we won and we lost. I also have one more thing that I want to say that is not super great. It's an announcement that I have to make. So, as some of you may know or may not know, I host a readathon called Black Loveathon, and I host it in February, the week of Valentine's Day. That's the thing, right? That's like the initial premise of it, and it's basically a Black love readathon where I encourage people to read Black romance and like celebrate Black joy and Black love. That's the whole point. And I wanted to host like, you know, a second round in August just because I thought it would be fun. But with the way that my life is set up right now and the way that this depression is set up, I am not going to be able to get everything together that I really want to have together for this readathon in time for August. So it is not going to be happening in August. So I'm sorry for the false hope. I know that there were a few people who were really excited about it, and so I'm sorry about that. But in August, I will probably film like a Black romance reading vlog again. But yeah, so we'll get that. A Black romance reading vlog will come out, or maybe like a Black romance recommendations video, something like that. But we're not hosting a second round of Black Loveathon in August. But the second round of Black Loveathon will be in February. So if you're still around then, you can still participate and we'll still have a good time and all that good stuff. So like, yeah, thank you so much for getting to the end of this video. If you did, this video is going to be a long one. Probably one of the longest videos I've ever made. So yeah. But if you made it to the end of this video, thank you for making it here. And like, yeah, if you get here, comment me a book stack emoji because I read a fuck ton of books this week. So like, comment a book stack emoji if you made it all the way to the end. And yeah, let me know whatever you want to let me know in the comments, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. And a special thank you to all of my patrons.